Hello guys and welcome back to Let's Play Beyond Good and Evil 3. Beyond Good and Evil Part 3. I wish there was a sequel to this game. We learned that, in last part we learned that Mr. DeCastelak was actually named by a man by the name of Hans, and that he didn't really actually exist. And so now instead we are going to the Iris headquarters, a revolutionary organization that is going against the alpha sections, because of their treatment to the people. As you see, there's some propaganda on the walls going against the Iris. Last week I didn't upload because I didn't get the chance to upload on the this Let's Play, so nothing too big of a deal. I had something going on. So this is Akuta's bar. You'll be coming back here a couple times for pearls and of course progress the story. Now there's a couple of easy gems I could quickly snag right here and now, but I'm going to go right to the Iris sections. There are Iris headquarters. This is why I can get the little bit of story that's going to be in this part out of the way before we can go ahead and collect things. The gist of this game is pretty simple. All you have to do is tell him the phrase that you were told by Hans, and then you have to find the hidden little piece of pearl in the coconut thing that he mixes up. It's nothing too hard. It was the center one this time, but it's now a key. Well, not a key, it's a key card. Now the cool thing about the key cards in this game, you have to analyze things in order to find the code to them. In this case, the code is J4D8, or Jade if you are paying attention. However, the code isn't always going to be Jade or J4D8. Sometimes it will be a random mix of numbers. Sometimes it will be other bits of randomness, but that's just from what I've experienced in the game. It could be random, but at the same time, their chances are that it's not necessarily random.
Friends, allow me to introduce you to Jade, our new agent. I was hoping you'd make it. Come closer. This is May, editing and distribution of our newspaper, Iris. Nino, radio operator, transmissions, and tireless poster sticker.
Hey.
On these screens, you can see the majority of our correspondents. They operate all over the universe from more than 13 different systems. You already know Peepers. It was his idea to offer you the job. He knew you would complete the test successfully.
You'd have to be blind not to see it. The kid's bursting with talent.
Now listen up, Jade. The events are gaining momentum. A Dom's bomb has exploded in the canal. Obviously, the Alpha sections have sealed off the sector. They've embarked everyone there.
To take care of them, right?
No hospital has received any victims, Jade. The governor of Hillis contacted us as soon as she heard the news. She's willing to help us, but her HQ is under surveillance. You could help us to save these people, Jade. Nino, give us a brief on the situation.
Here's what we know. The victims are kidnapped by Alpha Section agents. They are then taken to the Neutrophils factory. Shuttles are then used to take them to the old slaughterhouses. And from there, they are loaded into military cruisers headed for the moon.
We don't know what they're forced to suffer. None of our agents have ever returned from these cursed places. 4 days ago, we lost contact with Double H in the Neutrophils factory. He was our best agent. And friend. Double H was supposed to have brought back proof of the Dom's traffic. His last photos are terrifying.
A spirit eater.
We need someone to take over the mission, Jade. You can't refuse.
Continue.
We need proof. 1, you get inside the Neutrophils factory. 2, you take pictures of the Alpha sections and their victims. You'll be in constant contact with May. She'll broadcast your photos as quickly as she receives them. People must know the truth.
Yeah, I'd like to know too. Like who's actually telling the truth in all this.
Here's an official city pass. We got it thanks to the governor. It will open certain doors for you. Good luck.
Bravo, Yid.
We have a city pass that will give us more access to shops and more of an assortment of things. But also we got a M disc, and there's an M disc reader right there. So we're going to be putting it in just a second here, and I didn't want to talk to him. I want to read the M disc. Use the M disc reader. Come on, please do it for me. There you go.
The Alpha sections have deceived us. Since the beginning of the war, they have been controlled by the Doms and profit from the general chaos to kidnap innocent people. Thanks to Double H, we now know where the victims are taken to on Hillis. 1. The Neutrophils factory. 2. The old slaughterhouse in the shuttles. 3. The moon in a cargo cruiser. We must put an end to this nightmare. Every proof we can find relating to this conspiracy will bring us more and more support from the people. A general uprising would allow us to overthrow the Alpha sections and save thousands of innocent lives. If the revolt spreads, we may be able to end this war. But we need photographic evidence to find out exactly what's going on at the factory. Photos of the victims. Photos of the Alpha sections without their helmets on to know who they really are. That's where you come in, Jade. You take over Double H's mission. Here's his last report.
1923. I am in the Forbidden Zone. 1930. I can see the shuttles coming and going from the upper platform. 2003. I have succeeded in penetrating into the factory. 2050. I'm exhausted. I must have swam almost 2 miles. 2110. I'm inside. That's it. I can see the black cases. A noise. Hey, what the?
Apparently, they've trained a Reaper. The presence of this animal along with the Sigma rays are the proof of the presence of a Spirit Eater. These are his last shots. We've had nothing else for the last 4 days. Radio silence. Double H was our best reporter. He's done a lot for us. Thanks to him, the Iris Network was able to get in contact with the governor of Hillis. The governor is radically opposed to the Alpha sections and their methods, but she must not be found out. She's willing to help us if, on our side, we let the truth be known, and if more and more Hillians trust the Iris Network. If you find a door like this one, photograph it and send the picture to the governor. Her team of experts will try to find the code. We're counting on you, Jade. Be careful. Han.
And with all that huge chunk of plot out of the way, we are free to proceed to collect things. This is going to be the first of our collection videos. The first thing we want to collect, of course, is the cat lady sitting on the chair. There's been times where I've accidentally missed her, but you come back here so many times, you'll get her eventually.
Jade, you'll have to pick a code name to sign your articles with.
Shawnee.
I was gonna say before that quick cutscene, this is where a lot of parallels to Legend of Zelda can be drawn. It's a very adventure game. What's going to be going on here soon enough. You have to do all these puzzles, and doing the puzzles will get you extra things, of course, nice things, and it will help you out a lot. To solve that puzzle right there, you can't get close and read the code. I just want to say that right now. You have to use the camera like I did. It's just convenient to have done what I did, waited and get the code later after visiting with Iris to do the code. I believe in here there is, of course, a pearl and a handful of boosts. Though the boosts aren't necessary in this game at all, they do help you with a couple of the races throughout the game, which is really nice to keep in mind in case you're having troubles for some reason with the races. There's only 6 or 7 of them I can think of, and they aren't that difficult.
pushy, but he'll escape.
There's also another code we can get while we're here, but we can't use that code to any effectiveness until after we get another key card for more of the city. Also, you gotta make sure to take a picture of the shark person that's standing right there. Have never forgotten that one, but it's an easy one to forget if you overlook it. And now we finally get Sus Sapien, Pig Sapien, basically. There was one playthrough I had of this game. I've only beaten this game twice. Well, I think I've beaten this game and I got through a playthrough of it, partial playthrough of it. I got to the third dungeon and then stopped playing the game for some reason. And I in one of those partial playthrough, I completely forgot about taking a picture of Pey'j. However, we're gonna want to talk to this guy. This guy, he's very annoying. He's got a mini game for us to play, and in this mini game, it's a very simple objective. We've got to take these discs to his side. We gotta put all the discs from our side to his side, and he's got a pearl for us, waiting for us if we win. And he's got 3 difficulties. He's got easy, which is a tutorial game. He's got bet 100, which is more difficult, and the bet 1,000 for the pearl. I'm not wanting to bet the 1,000 and lose it, so you're gonna want to save before you do that. So this is what the game is like. It's pretty cool. I think I like it at times, but it can be irritating when your analog stick doesn't want to read the direction that you tell it to go. So what ends up happening sometimes is that you come to these clutch games where all of a sudden you're losing, and then you're winning, and then you lost. See, right there. I had a perfect angle. I swear to God I had the perfect shot. But it turns out I completely missed. And I ended up losing this round. It feels like you never know which direction it's gonna go. However, if you know how to manipulate the pucks well enough, you can beat this guy really quickly. I've beaten him in like 10 seconds before. And I believe I destroy him when I go for the pearl, though. The one redeeming quality of this this minigame is the music, which I personally absolutely love.
You win.
You can imagine that after about 30 seconds, you're already pumped to play the game, even though it's this pathetic little mini game puck thing that you would find in a Grand Theft Auto game. It's actually really fun, and it's really enjoyable, even though it can cause a lot of infuriation for me at times. Like right here, I swear to God, I should be shooting through the wall, but nope, it doesn't want to give it to me. It also doesn't want to give me any of the pucks that I really want. It gives me the pucks that I don't want. It's just, it can infuriate you, but when it's working, it's fun. That's what I want to say about it. Needless to say, I destroyed him, and now I have the pearl, which is really nice. I won't have to play this again for at least a while, cause he doesn't have 1, he has 2. So if you don't want to lose $1,000 to him, you can just save and reload the game in case that's a problem with you, in case you don't like the minigame at all and you just want to get the damn thing done. And I would understand why. I really would understand why. It can be infuriating. It took me a while to even get used to controlling the pucks at all.
Transmission received. I'll file it right away. Okay.
Needless to say, now we have another roll of film, which is nice. We'll get another pearl, which this is the 4th roll of film, I believe. I believe there are 8 in the game, and the 8th one will get you an M disc. So making sure that you get all the animals is pretty essential, but you'll quickly find out that getting all the animals isn't that hard. You might be asking me, well, all these animals. What if I miss a silly little fly? What if I miss a bird or a little animal in the corner of a dungeon and I forget about it at the last second and I never knew it was there and I never am able to go back to it, because that is a problem in this game. Well, there is a solution to that. Later on, I think in this part we'll be getting a upgrade to our map system that will be that shows us all animals and all pearls in a dungeon in an area. This is a great thing because in the second real dungeon, the meat factory, the Neutrophils factory, not the meat factory, but the Neutrophils factory, there is a animal that I missed. I was recording it. I was having a swell time. I was doing really well, having one of the a great recording session. I was sneaking by everyone. I had little deaths, but I forgot one of the animals. And at that point, it is impossible to go back into the Neutrophils factory and retry it because of story conditions. It will piss you off. I had no end of anger at this game after I had that happen to me. Needless to say, it's not that big of a deal, but for me it was. I get irritated at games really easily. I hate multiplayer in video games that don't require much skill at all. I can't stand Halo nowadays. I can't stand Call of Duty. Even though I do like both series extremely, a lot. I'm played so much of Halo. I've played so much of Call of Duty. It's just I can't stand them nowadays anymore. Needless to say, we're in another puzzle. A very simple puzzle. It's not too difficult or too easy. It's just time consuming. All this puzzle really, you'll see quickly, all this puzzle really consists of is me running up and kicking, running past boxes and running down another hall, running onto another conveyor belt. Like right here. I could just go right through if there weren't for the lasers, but I'm going to have to go through a quick maze of conveyor belts to get to my pearl that I so desperately want. It's pretty easy at first. You just got a couple lasers to deal with. But eventually start throwing lasers and crates at you. So if you don't want to be stuck there forever, you got to time it. Fucking camera angle. As you see, there's one of the many crates right there. You can just hurry on up and you'll catch the next little landing area that's safe. And you gotta immediately move because you'll barely be making it if you don't move immediately. So this is actually one of the alphas sections layers. This is one where they stole a pearl. One of the biggest problems that the alpha sections have been having is that they've been stealing pearls from people, and they're doing it very unexplained, very out of nowhere for no reason too. And with that, people are really starting to suspect the government. People are going missing, as Iris explained. And there are problems. The DOMs are getting stronger. It seems like every DOM's attack, whether they land on the ground or not, more people are missing. And so that's something I would really like to bring up, is that this game uses a lot of the fear that people had right after the 9/11 attacks to make an interesting story. There was a little period right after 9/11 where people were there was this huge distrust in the government. There were a lot of movies and video games and books all coming out about the distrust in government. I don't care either way, but this is where the era of the game took place and why the story is about a corrupt government. So here's Mingzu's shop. Mingzu is a sympathizer to Iris. He believes that the Alpha sections are in fact up to something, and in that case, he will give you some stuff for free. Not any of his good things, but he's got a couple M discs in the back that he'll give you. However, his good things you're gonna have to pay for. The first thing you can get is, of course, a Mecha Impulsor, which, like I said, I believe in the first part, they are important for the last boss. So you're going to want to make sure to pick them up. The second thing is a PA. You always want those. It's easy to see why. The last boss is a doozy and a half. And an animal detector. This is the thing I was talking about earlier. This will show you where all the animals on a map are. And it really helps out with like I said, the dungeons that you have to deal with later on, where you can't go back. Along with the pearl detector, I don't buy the heavy strike right now, which is the last item on the list. It's $2,500, and I feel like I could find something else to spend my money on. At this point, like I said, I only completed this game once ever, and that was about a year ago. But needless to say, I do thoroughly enjoy this game. Like I said, these are the two M discs that he's offering. They're pretty, they're what Double H was working on before he got captured. So if you want more information on this world and what they were up to, what Iris thinks was going on, and how they feel was going on, then you will say the short phrase to Mingzu to get what you want, these two M discs. Later, of course, you can pick up the M discs that you make for Iris to listen to what you reported on. I'll be showing those off, of course, but we can't show them off without, of course, going through the dungeons.
Iris 511, a new wave of kidnappings in the pedestrian district. Reporter Double H. The Doms have once again struck hard at the Hylian population. Another 850 people have been reported missing since last week. The so-called protection given by the Alpha sections against the Dom's attacks is derisory at best. Iris 512. Hill is showered with Dom's meteors. Reporter Double H. The canals, the Mamago garage, and the lighthouse shelter suffered a violent attack from the Doms yesterday. The protective shields were not able to stop the Dom's meteors. The Alpha sections did not arrive on the scene until after the alert. The Alpha sections are incapable of assuring the protection of Hillis.
But with that out of the way, we're just going to continue on and collect more of our little MacGuffin pearls. Pretty easy, I think. The pearl, like I said, this game is pretty short, and because of it, the pearls aren't that hard to get. I'm using the pearl. I'm showing off the pearl and animal detector right there. there are pearls here that you can't get yet, of course. That's how I think all Legend of Zelda adventure-esque games roll, is that there are going to be things that you're not going to be able to get for a while. And because of that, you can't get most of the pearls in the districts quite yet. I was doing some reading on this game, and from what I understand, the game was originally supposed to be about a teenager. Jada was supposed to be a teenage girl living in the orphanage that she protects right now. And Pey'j was supposed to be her father or something like that. I'm not exactly sure on everything, but the game wasn't supposed to be Legend of Zelda. It was supposed to be a platformer like Mario or Sonic or Crash Bandicoot, where you'd go around and you'd be platforming, and you do have to collect the pearls. Wait, quickly a side note. I just want to say this. This is a race. This is the second race in the game that we're doing. One of 3 in this part. We're doing 3 races in this part, so there's going to be a lot of it. The races are pretty easy. It says there's a lap time, and you don't have to make under the 59 seconds. If you can make it under the 59 seconds, you get like an extra 1,000 credits, but you don't need the extra money. You'll find out quickly that if you're careful enough, you don't need that money at all. But as I was going, the game wasn't supposed to be Legend of Zelda. The creator, who is the creator of Rayman, the Rayman series, originally, like I said, wanted to do another Rayman-esque platformer, another Mario-esque platformer, but he didn't get what he wanted. Instead, when they initially showed this at E3, at I believe E3 2001, or 2002, not exactly sure which one. It received very negative outlook. It didn't get much attention at all, and it didn't do very well with the E3 crowd. So instead, they decided to up the ante and go with a completely different game style. In a year, they decided to develop this the game as it is today, and it was a rush job. It was the definition of a rush job. You'll see, you'll probably notice that a lot of times in the credits, there are wrong words, there are misspelt words, there are words that are, not the credits, but the subtitles, my bad. There are wrong words, misspelt words, bad grammar. Some of it will straight out be in French, because Ubisoft is French, and they speak French in France. And there'll be all these weird, even though Segundo speaks Spanish in one scene. If Segundo speaks Spanish in one scene, I noticed that, I believe it was part 1, that in the subtitles, he speaks French. But in the game, he speaks Spanish. So it doesn't detract from the experience of this game, but it definitely shows the rush that they were in to finish this game. Moving on, we're now on the second of the second races. I believe this is the harder one of the 2 that we're going to do today. The hardest one of the 3. So it's not so much hard as in the fact that it's difficult to get to the lead, but it's just long. It's a minute a lap. It's 3 times the size of the first one. However, I do like the races in this game. As I stated before, with the Puck game, it's got excellent music, and when you're driving through the course, especially when you're driving down the huge ramp in the middle part of the race, it's exciting. It creates a feeling of tension. In fact, It's the same damn music from the Puck game. Another sign that the game is a rush job. But am I complaining? I do not. The game is very good. The game is very excellent. The music score is very good and excellent. I don't have a problem with the fact that they reuse the music. I just wanted to point that out. And I also want to point this out too. There is no rubber banding on the races. At least I don't notice if there was rubber banding, but when you're racing against these guys during the races, a lot of times in older games, you'll notice that the enemies will be rubber banded. I know that in Sonic Adventure 1, Eggman would be rubber banded so badly when you were racing against him as Tails. Mario Kart, the rubber banding was horrible. But in this game, if you are destroying the competition, you're going faster than you can believe, you will maintain a huge lead on them. And it's just interesting to see how badly you can beat these guys. It's part of the interest, and what I like going back to the race is that even though I beat the race, I enjoy going back to it to see how worse I can defeat them in the race. But with that, you have to now get another part in order to continue with collection. We also need this part for the end game, for the plot. You need all the parts from Mama Go's garage in order to complete the game anyway. Even the space engine in the very back that costs 30 pearls. So I'm going to head off to Mama Go's garage now that I made sure that there is nothing else I can pick up. Excuse me. I'll restate this again. I know this is starting to get old. I do like the music of this game, and I like the fact that these elephants are Jamaican. I love the little tune that they have going on in the background in this area, and sometimes when I play the game, I sit here for about 10 minutes just listening to the song because of the fact that it's just so catchy. It gets stuck in your head. You can choose to say that little expression to any person, but it only works on Mingzu and the shuffler that we saw earlier. Don't waste your time unless, of course, you want someone being a smart aleck, especially these these, what do I call them, hippos, rhinos. These rhinos will just talk about how, ooh, pearls, can I have a pearl? But now that we have the cannon, the neutralizing cannon, we're gonna be attacked. We're being attacked by meteors. It's the most random thing I've ever had. The meteors are completely random. They don't aim for you. They don't track for you. They don't go specifically for you. As you can see, you can stand in one spot and be perfectly safe. You just gotta be careful that if one lands near you, you move the other way. Because they do have an aftershock effect, and they will, I believe they take one wrench away from the hovercraft if you get hit by it. But if you just stay in one spot, you're safe. You're not gonna get destroyed. And even then, you're probably gonna have 4 or 5 repairs by now, and you'll be, like I said, just fine. I'm just gonna make my casual stroll on over to the next area, because that's where I'm gonna be heading off anyways. I'm gonna show off the neutralizing cannon. Looking forward to that. Now, earlier in the game, there are these little robots that come about over the ocean and pick you up if you try to go near them. Now, with the neutralizing cannon, we can just straight out destroy them. pretty easy. Just holding down the X button will bring up a cursor that you can use to paint targets. And with that too, we get access to these boxes. Now these boxes are cool in the fact that every time you leave the area and come back, they will respawn. And since the loading times aren't that unbearable, it's pretty easy to farm these for a little bit of extra cash here, a little bit of extra cash there. It can be unbearable, but if you really need the cash, and I wouldn't see why you would need the cash, it's there for you. And now we're going to be moving on to Looter's Cave 2. A pretty easy cave, if I say so myself. I don't believe I fail at all in this section. I know that I failed in the first one. I didn't have much trouble getting back to where I was, but I believe I failed in the first one because I was doing something else while recording the session. Now you might be wondering if those lasers will completely stop you when you hit them. They don't. So you can run through them if you really need to catch up with them. Try not to run into too many of the boxes like in the first Looter's Cave, where you can just run into them left and right and pretty much still catch them. You're going to need to shoot the boxes or just avoid them because of the fact that this looter goes much faster than the first one, and you'll be barely clearing those doors as it is. So keeping that in mind, choose your fights. There you go. So you can go through the lasers and still be all right. I had to use a repair just in case. I made sure not to die. Didn't want to muck up the recording. So needless to say, we didn't make that door. This is the one I didn't make. Well, with that little slip up out of the way, we're gonna go through the last door and catch the bandits, the looters. They are a cinch. Now with the mecha, not the mecha impulsor, but the neutralizing cannon, we have an instant kill weapon against the looters. They are now complete jokes. Not that they weren't before, but they're now just completely pwned. Something I would also like to say is that when you go through a tunnel again, there will be the boxes with money. So now we're back at Black Isles. Now that Pey'j has the wrench, the cutting wrench, he can break through this fence. And with the ability, of course, to break through the fence, we can get the slug that back in part 2 I tried taking a picture of, but couldn't quite get the angle on. He's only worth 300 credits though, so don't be surprised if you come up on him and he's not worth much at all. However, it's not so much the slug that we've come for. It's a PA1. Now, I believe I mentioned back in the first part, if you are careful and you get all the PA1s, Jade quickly becomes a god. Or goddess, my bad. And it's just about impossible to die in this game if you're not uber careful or if you don't know what you're doing. Even if you don't know what you're doing, it's pretty easy. This game is pretty damn easy. And I'm not surprised if you'd go through this game and clear it with one life. I do fail here a couple of times, but that's only because of the fact that I know that I'm going to need to hold on to a couple health items for the last boss. Like I said, I have troubles with the last boss. You guys may not, but I do. But with that, we are now in the entrance of the next dungeon, and we'll be picking off where we left off. This has been the Habanero Gamer, signing out.